And stitching sounds like something you do with a sewing machine, but it's actually a plan to dramatically change our freeways here in San Antonio.
The News 4i team's Jaie Avila kicks off his new Waste Watch segment tonight. It is our year-long commitment in 2025 to tracking government spending.
It starts with a controversial project using millions of your tax dollars to make highways less racist.
The $2 million will just go to study the feasibility of burying or capping I-37 and 3 other highways, which urban planners claim are barriers dividing minority communities from the rest of the city.
When Isaiah Avila takes his daily walks on the east side, this overpass is the only way to cross busy I-10.
There is no other way to actually get around on that side. We have to come all the way over here.
James Norte with San Antonio for Growth on the east side, or SAGE, says the placement of our highways was intended to segregate and for decades has cut off Black and Latino neighborhoods from access to jobs and recreation.
Historically, the residents of the east side have not had their fair share of opportunity.
Norte believes capping and stitching our highways could be a solution.
So if you can imagine taking a highway, putting it underground and covering it, the stitching would be covering each side of that highway once it's underground so that it makes a smooth connection.
SAGE was awarded a $2 million grant from the U.S. Department of Transportation to study capping I-37 from Carolina Street to Broadway, I-35 from Broadway to Walters, and I-10 from MLK Drive to Houston Street and from Piedmont Avenue to Walters. The city of San Antonio also received a $2.9 million grant to study capping the I-37 section.
Do those roadways really cut anybody off? Can't people still walk and drive and get where they need to go?
If you have a car, if you have that privilege, you can always get in a vehicle, but not everyone has access to the same reliable transportation.
Cities like Austin, Dallas, and Atlanta have also been working on capping and stitching projects that cover freeways with parks and land bridges. In early January, the Biden administration announced $544 million in grants for such projects, which former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg said could reverse racist highway designs.
But that obviously reflects racism that went into those design choices. I don't think we have anything to lose by confronting that simple reality.
And it was one of their signature projects. They felt like this is when you heard the news, roads are racist.
Terry Hall, who advocates for taxpayers and drivers, opposes the capping projects.
We think that they're a waste. We think that it's going to create intentional congestion on our roadways in a time when Texas is a growing state and we have massive congestion problems.
SAGE hopes to have the study done by May of 2026, but the project itself would require such a massive federal investment, it's unclear whether it will ever happen, especially with a new presidential administration. For the News 4i team, I'm Jaie Avila.
And if you want Jaie to investigate a government spending project, be sure to send us your Waste Watch news tip. You can call the number right there on your screen, 210-476-1070, or you can send an email to iteam@news4sa.com.